I will send it. Hold on.
Let me know if you get anything.
It should have been sent to your emails. That's the latest version. I also sent it in the room late afternoon. There's still about 10 people in there, so.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Crude decided to fall apart, huh?
Profit taking, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Can you post
Was
the
that?
link again for this? Can you post the
I
link
just
again for
gave
this topic?
everybody the link again. I guess they didn't
Okay.
get it through the email or whatever.
Yeah. I got to figure out Mailchimp again because of the new computer.
Oh, right. Okay.
I literally spent like over an hour last night trying to figure it out.
Right.
All right. So let's take a look. Nasdaq and the S&P look strong, huh?
Yeah, they had their little. Well, actually the S&P is much weaker than the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Crude is kind of stuck in a range.
Yeah. It's getting near the lows of the from yesterday.
Well, you could see we're now at the 1 hour bottom band, so 15 minutes another 30 cents lower. Probably could start nibbling on it if it was going to do its and the dollar's railing like crazy, so if it was going to do its plunge, you would think that it would. Not the best looking technical pattern though for a long side, so
No,
kind of
no.
kind of holding out.
Definitely had some distribution overnight. A little bit of pullback on the Nasdaq and S&P, huh? Looks like they're just kind of basing sideways.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Looks like the Nasdaq and S&P are kind of basing near these highs.
Yeah, they're kind of coming in here.
See if this net crude's going to hold this low here at 83. Just seems really weak still.
Yeah, it seems like to me it looks like it needs to do one more push lower for this. I'm looking at, maybe this band.
58.40 is really the next level.
Yeah, 58 half. Larry's
58
number's
half, yeah.
30,
Yeah,
38,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. It's getting pretty close to it's pretty much a retest of yesterday's lows where we had that big buyer in there.
Right. Let's go through it. 4 hour, we've got this bounce off the band from yesterday. One hour, a lot of time goes band to band. So what's the next steps from here? I think it's going to struggle. There's something changed, especially all the high flyers getting knocked off their high horses. So that's a major change in the internal structure of like stocks. Let's go to the NASDAQ. 4 hour bounce. It's kind of extended here. Spent a lot of firepower here. Get that up to this level.
Hey, Dave, you gonna buy on NASDAQ?
Chris is funny. All right, where were we? Going through the NASDAQ. Yeah, usually when there's a larger sell-off and it's trying to bottom, you've kind of got that first bounce retest, although this happened overnight, no retest, and then so now there'll be another. The retest that we have now is going to kind of make the difference if this is a major 1 week bottom, or we'll see where it ends up. Let me check. Did everyone get the link and get it set up? Andrew, are you muted? Can't hear you.
There I go again, talking away.
I always know because you're not one to give the.
Gotta see how the 77 level holds here on crude. Still looking super heavy though. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. I'm not one to short it in the hole, so it's a good way to lose your hand. Strange.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree with what? Shortening the hole, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get it on the rally. You're gonna try to short it. You know what I mean? Let it put in.
Yeah, usually the best way to do it. Let's go to 5 minute. You kind of want to find a spot or position, if it's kind of breaking sideways, you made a decision you're going to short it, you could start short, you know, especially if it's making a range, you sell it at the higher end of the range. I mean, it typically does these spikes before it plunges, so it's kind of
Yeah.
goes with territory.
Yeah.
Kind of same thing here, that blow off top.
Yeah.
There's this pretty big dollar up move, so that's profit taking. We'll see if that's we've just had this. You know, you could see that the yen and Nasdaq, S&P were actually together today. I mean, they still are not as highly correlated, but they're still pretty darn correlated. And the yen is way up here, and the S&P is here, so we'll see.
Yeah.
If they can get back together.
Yeah.
Same thing with the dollars, had this pretty decent bounce the last couple of days, so crude is probably got to give in a little bit.
See how it interacts with these highs at 97 here, the previous pivot high there.
Right. Yes, sir.
Momentum is definitely slowing down to the downside, but it's still, I mean, there's no conviction in this buying yet, you know.
Right.
It's stuck in a pretty narrow range here for the last little while. There we go. He's going to break it.
Crude gets its head up above here, you know, could. I don't know. If it were to rally, it could go to 12. It's not really 20 cents. It's not risk reward wise.
Yeah.
Is not there yet.
No, sir. Seems pretty quiet though overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've had that lately where it's usually after a big
not
up
like,
day, it's quiet. Big down day, it's either going to get killed again or it's going to bottom.
yeah.
This for the stock market is perfect bottoming behavior.
Yeah, after the 200-point plunge yesterday on the Dow.
Right. Just like I said, got to kind of step out here. Big down move, bounce. And then now we've had the rally. If we can sell off and hold, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised it even holds right here.
Yeah.
See if that. Although it's kind of no man's land, but they seem to want them higher.
Yeah. Failed breakout on the 1 minute on crude.
Yeah.
And that is a bullish pivot on the 5 though.
Yeah, crude is it's just sleeping there.
I had a $1 move to the downside overnight.
Right. You could see though it hasn't sucked in any more sellers, so
No. This was a support level, an overnight support level on the 30th. It's 83.
oh, on crude, okay.
Yeah. What's our posture on the 1 and 5 minute?
Short on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, and flat on one.
On
Shorts
crude or on
crude.
NASDAQ? How about NASDAQ?
Long 5, short 1.
Seems like a pretty good bottom on the NASDAQ here, huh?
Yeah, it is a tough spot. That's at no man's land, but
It's on the bottom of the red band.
that was actually the upside numbers. I guess I should move it to the next higher number. It blew through it.
Yeah.
Well, it first hit it and came through, and then now the second.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lower low. I mean, you really do need to see this retest these lows on the NASDAQ before I'm convinced.
Yeah, it's a little bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see on the Nasdaq this little sell-off here to test that 34 low and
Yeah, put in a. I mean, you've got a lower low right now, so you want to put in a higher. You want to
higher
put in
low.
a higher low.
Man, crude is quiet.
Yeah, just dead in the water. Dead in the water.
Right.
I mean, we did put in a higher low on a 1 minute, so I mean, need to start breaking down here.
A lot of these tech stocks, actually, let me pull that up. Although yesterday I kind of locked my computer up. I gotta maybe pull it up on a different. When I pull up that stock software, it was just locked down. This will be coming around as a turn buy on the 5-minute NASDAQ. Some pretty strange formations.
There's crude again for a new 5-minute candle here, pushing, taking out those previous candle highs. There's a little snap there in crude, some buying action.
And right back down.
Yep.
Crude is so this is really sitting there in that neutral zone.
They call it the Widowmaker. They don't call it the Widowmaker for nothing.
Well, like you've always said, it'll sit and then make its
Right.
make its move. I think it'll probably be to the upside now
Yeah.
because the stock market's gonna start to work higher.
It's trying to get you to believe it's bottoming, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like to see if you could pick it up in this area. 36, 37. Let's take a look at the yen real quick. Lo and behold, they were talking about because their inflation numbers rolled over and they're talking about more increasing their QE in Japan. So That's what's giving it the, here's a 4 hour, the last, yesterday and today. You know, when market sells off, you got to float that out there. We're going to do more.
Yep. The way they work.
See if it can hold in this area in the NASDAQ. It's getting close to give a buy on the system, and then it just fell apart.
Yeah. See how close it crude interacts with 94 here on.
All right, let's see. What do you think of crude? Just nothing.
Doing its normal sit and rip, you know?
Sit and rip?
Yeah, just not do anything, and then it's hanging out near the highs now, but it's just kind of, you know, it's just basing.
Mm-hmm. Looks like I can do a counter trend up move. Maybe it gets up to that top hand. Ever so slowly, it's turning the NASDAQ.
Come on, crude. What are you going to do here?
So let me show you. Although this is Windows 7, but you can go into processes. You can press Control Alt Delete to get to your task manager. And then, well, this one it's MTG trade. It'll say MTG trading. You then click on it and you hit end process. Mine says MTG trading 5, but.
And what does that do?
Well, some people are trying to install it and it fails because I think it's running in the background. So got to end it through process and then. God, it's going to chase this thing, isn't it? Nope. And then when you go to install it, it should be fine.
See how this fits, interacts with 82s.
Wow, crew just fell out of bed.
Yeah. Put in a lower high.
We even got to the top band, so
What's that?
never even got to the top band.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd anticipate some buyers being down here, down some of these lows near 80, 82, though, you know?
They they are coming. They keep coming in right here. If you look at an imaginary line or whatever
Yeah.
in this area. Trying to see if on the 5 minute it'll. It's still short, so
Yeah. Still short on a 5. What are we on a 1? Neutral, you said?
mm-hmm. We know crude can't sit still this long. It's like a little
Nope.
kid.
Gonna throw a temper tantrum set.
You have to go sit in this chair for 10 minutes. It's like 3 minutes in, the kid's running around the room.
It's exact. That is exact. Crude is the ADHD child.
It's the 2-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's funny. See if you're gonna push the lows, crude.
To me, there seems to be both NASDAQ and crude. I think there's a big break coming. I mean, there's a big move. These should be a decent move. You got a lot of pent up coils there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you go and look on a 1 minute. Although it's a sloppy coil on that, but you go on this and it's,
Yeah.
you know, you can almost draw the line out to here a little bit less. It's not really a triangle, but
See if crude takes out these lows, heading back down there again to 88, 87s.
So if you think of bigger commodity funds and fund managers, stuff like that, if they're in a position and they're looking at, let's say, a 1 hour, and this candle here is kind of good spot to hold, but this current 1 hour candle is just very, I mean, it's just soggy. So either they come in with a big 10,000 contract buy order to either add to their position or protect their position. That's kind of how you get these strange moves sometimes. And same thing over here where it comes to certain levels, it really starts ramping. So you could see how although I could see it getting to this area, and then they really pile in alongside.
Yeah.
Just let the price action dictate.
See what happens at 81, right?
Is the plunge coming?
Still seems super heavy. We're 10 cents off the day low, 77.
Well, this pattern in the past, recent past, prior, maybe a month ago,
Yeah.
would usually give you about a $1 to $2 drop.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have more velocity to the upside now. You know what I mean?
Well, like I'm backed out to the 4 hour. Usually when the 4 hour candles are like that. Take a breather, take a breather.
Here's our push.
Euro's kind of tanking, so. I was so close to giving a buy on NASDAQ. It just fell apart.
Let's look here.
Well, look at that. Really. That's it.
Look at what?
No more downside. Pretty weak. I guess the bears are all vaporized, so no shorts coming out of the woodwork.
I don't know. I think we're going to push this low here.
Get the dollar going on their side. You can see the euro.
got to be a seller of crude all day today, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. Were you you're not trading with the guys today?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay.
30. Or, yeah,
Later. I got it.
yeah. Later.
You know, it's quiet right now, but on a Friday with what we, you know, the sell-offs and everything we had, it's should be actually pretty decent.
So far, it's quiet.
Solid pre-market stuff.
Yeah.
There was no numbers, and it was like 7 a.m. here, and it just went, there it goes.
I've noticed that they've been ripping this market earlier.
Yeah.
Back above 82. If you can get a close above 82 on crude, that'd be a pretty strong sign.
I bought it 40.
Is that your washout low before they rip it higher, huh?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty weak low. You would think that it broke the day low and it would just bring out monster amount of sellers or stops or whatever, and it dropped 10 cents and came right back. It's actually kind of bullish.
Move's still not done though. You gotta start to see the
Tick tock, tick tock.
yeah. Equal low, lower high, trading at the midpoint of current low previous. Still bearish to me.
Yes.
It's trying.
And it held.
Yeah, it's just breathing in a candle still. Keeps getting up to the 82 level there and keeps getting whacked down. 82, 83.
just it, for the amount of moves it's had lately, it's like getting off the highway and you're going 35 miles per hour and you feel like you're walking. It's like my eyes are tearing watching this thing.
How's our buddy the Nasdaq doing?
It came so close to giving by, but it just fell apart. Maybe next minute. Maybe next time. So when you get in periods like this, you don't want to overtrade. This is where you really can get yourself beat up.
Yeah. Wait for your turns.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for your ideal setup too. You know what I mean? Like, no point just to trade, you know?
Right.
I mean, this thing is so weak right now that.
Well, look at the euro just broke down. I can't for the life of me see why crude wouldn't just drop 50 cents in a heartbeat. Go to that.
85.50 level.
I think it could definitely see Larry's number, 38.
38. Here it goes. Take out those lows.
Must be some kind of buyers in there because it's like it just literally like ticks and then bounces. I haven't looked at the ladder. You know, here's the ladder. We can watch what happens on the when it prints.
Yeah. Big print lower there.
Not really. The old low was 72 and it just went to 68. Like we know in the past, well, let's give it time, right? In the past,
Yeah,
it should be printing like 52 right now, 20 cents lower.
But I mean, that's a big exhaustion candle. You're trading up into the body of two candles, and then you just fall out of bed. You know what I mean? And then it's still an impulse lower. Still not seeing a turn yet.
I've been watching the end of candles lately, and it's pretty interesting.
The last minute or so,
The last like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
They're
It's where, yeah, it's like they always say, amateurs control the open and institutions control the close. It's the same
well,
way
you got to figure 1 minute is an algo. I mean, let's cut to the chase. It's algos, and I'm sure. So if you think about it from when a trade can trigger and signal, if you wait, I know there was a lot of debate on it with in regards to looking at, like, you probably know this, like back in the day, first when techs were working and whatever, you would go and you would go and tweak it a little bit, like everyone was using the whatever time period, and then so you would just kind of skew it a little bit.
Adjust. Yeah, you would adjust your MACD to before theirs.
Right. You'd want to hit if it hit earlier because then everyone would be jumping in.
Yeah.
And so then the same thing started happening probably in the, I'm going to say 2005, 6 range. And what people were doing is trying to get in. If you got a signal, you'd want to get in 5 seconds early. So
Yeah.
you'll literally see at the end of a candle, we'll look at this next, we're at 30 seconds right now. So you'll see sometimes, like if it's turning to give a signal, you'll see this flurry of activity. Like here's the last 15 seconds, we'll see. I don't think, it's not at an actionable spot where I think there'll be a lot of activity, but yeah, this is the last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. For me, it's the end of the 5-minute candle. Like the last 30 seconds of a 5-minute candle usually is a pretty good indicator of how the next candle is going to trade.
Yeah.
Like this current candle, lower low, lower highs, you know, at the lows of current, lows of previous. But if this thing closes, if it closes above 77, it's probably going to, you know, the next guess would be it would push higher, penetrate higher.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the current candle high and also the midpoint or the closing price or opening price of the previous 15 minutes. And you'll notice a lot of times too, like the first half of the candle, it'll, you know, either put in a lower low or a higher low or a lower high depending on the trend. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it'll fail or it'll rally. It's where in the past we kind of got washed out of certain trades because you'd get in at a decent spot, it would retest that level again, stop you out of break even, and then rip to new highs on a, you know, from a 1 minute to a 5.
Well, I'm seeing some of these different triggers that hit on the 1 minute that they seem to flutter around. Boy, bonds are getting beat up. Is this the plunge coming for crude?
Yeah. Definitely a retest of that 65 low that we just put in, but we'll see.
It's gonna have a 5-minute turn by for me next bar.
This next candle, yeah.
Unless it makes a monster new low. Did everyone get their software
Up and running.
Seems like okay, works now. Jerry, you all good?
Ripping higher on NASDAQ, huh?
And really? You don't realize it came within like 2 ticks to trigger like 6 points ago.
Did it really?
Yeah. Like literally, it was ready and then it fell apart. Now that's what I was talking about. That last 10 seconds.
Got it.
41.
Pick up that high, Mazzy. You can do it.
Crude's starting to get going, so we'll see. See if we can get the yen going.
1 minute? Was that a 1 minute or a 5 minute turn by?
1 minute.
NASDAQ, 1 minute.
It almost triggered here. And then it fell apart at the close. And then it took 2 bars to get going. And there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we could work in at better spots. We'll see crude get going. Kind of failed on the breakout there. On the 1 minute.
A lot of momentum still to the upside on Mazzy.
Hope so.
Bottoms in on the NASDAQ, on crude.
Seems like it. All right, well, have a good weekend.
All right, guys.
We'll see you on the wrap-up call. Thanks.
Yep.